Good evening and welcome to the Newman City Council regular meeting, June 9th, 2026. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for our invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together today in spirit of generosity. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Pimentel.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ball. Councilmember Tomlinson.
Here.
Councilmember Harden. Here. Mayor Graham.
Here. Any declarations of conflicts of interest tonight? None. Nothing from closed session. There's nothing to report out. Item number 7, items from the public, non-agenda items. Anyone wishing to speak on step up and state your name and your concern.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Evan Galvin. I'm here on behalf of Assemblyman Juan Alanis to give a short legislative update. We had 3 bills pass the Assembly floor, AB 1568, which is Megan's Law Sex Offender Registry. This bill tightens the requirements for individuals petitioning to be removed from the state sex offender registry. AB 1612, which is a disposition of controlled substances. This bill would authorize local law enforcement agencies and state departments to transport seized controlled substances held past their investigation retention periods to the Department of Justice for safe disposal. And AB 2282, the Del Puerto Emergency Medical Services. This bill authorizes the Del Puerto Healthcare District and General Acute Care Hospital to operate a temporary 24/7 rural emergency stabilization care unit. We also have 12 bills still alive, which include 2-year bills from 2025, and they're currently being voted on in the Senate. If you guys have questions or concerns, please reach out to our office. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate the update, and thank you to Alnice for all of his hard work for us. Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak? Item 8, consent counter. A, waive all readings of ordinance and resolution except by title. B, approval of warrants. C, approval of minutes of the May 27th, 2026 meeting.
Move we adopt the consent calendar.
We got first.
Second.
We got first and second. Can vote electronically. Motion carries 4 with 1 absent. No public hearings tonight. Regular business. Item A, adopt resolution 2026, next number. Adopting a list of projects funded by SB1, the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017 for the fiscal year 2026-2027. Thomas?
Good evening. I have for your consideration adopting the list of the projects funded by SB1. That was the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017. This is going to look very familiar. Every year we are required to update our project list, and then that data gets uploaded to state's website. As a reminder, back in 2022, the report was in 2022 City of Newman Pavement Management Program update, and it outlaid some areas that we would use this SB1 money for. As you may remember, the last project we did that was a crack and slurry up by Duckblind Circle and some down by Bush Park. So the main update to this list is adding some additional areas for possible crack and slurry, the crack sill and slurry sill. We are looking at possibly focusing on the Fresno from Maine west, and then using this SB1 funds likely as the next project. We're estimating approximately $348,580 in the fiscal year 26-27, and receiving the $326,199 in the current fiscal year. These are projected, the projected numbers. And I have a couple slides here. So as a reminder, the last time we used SB1 for the crack and slurry, we did some off of Canyon Creek Drive and Park Circle. So there's some other areas in this area that we'd like to crack and slurry seal. There we go. And this map will show the Fresno Street one, the one kind of right in the middle here. Where's my mouse at? Sorry about that. I have long arms, but I was told I can't throw my arms up in the air. And so Fresno Street there from Main out to T Street. We're gonna take a little closer look at that and possibly the focus of the SB1. Similar over off of Rodeo Grounds Way. That's Borba Park's right here in this area. And this is, and so this is another area that's been identified as possibly doing some slurry seal and crack seal similar to the last project we did. And I can answer any questions you might have.
Can any of the SB1 money be used for the T Street corridor?
I can get a full answer to that. SB1, we can use it for a variety of projects, but I'll get back to you on that one.
'Cause I know that was a big project, so I wasn't sure if that would help assist the city with any costs on that.
The biggest challenge on that is we get a few $100,000. That's a multi-million-dollar project, so it's going to be a real heavy lift. So we're really going to have to go after some big Caltrans grants in order to really do that project right from start to finish.
Yeah, to add on what Michael said, there are implementation grants associated with that type of plan, along with some other grant funding. Our estimates are in a few $1 million for the T Street corridor.
Thank you.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it only the crack seal and slurry that's happening in these streets?
So I identified in these two maps on this one here, along with here, these are two primary areas that we, in the case of the Canyon Creek Drive Park Circle area, that would be to finish what we focused on last time. And then with the Rodeo Grounds Way area, this would be this Lucas Ranch 2 area. This would be an addition, but SB1 allows for us to, the words say various local roads, right? So if another area was identified in one of the items is the pavement condition index, that's the condition of our pavements throughout Newman, our streets. We both use that program along with windshield time, me driving around or other city employees driving around, input from the community, input from the council and other city staff members. We identify areas that we could focus this SB1 money to. We identified these two primary areas based on past reporting, and then when we just did the last SB1 the slurry seal and crack seal project, our focus was duck blind circle, and because the bid came in a little lower than engineering estimate, we were able to add some additional areas because SB1 project list allows for various local roads.
I guess the question that I'm trying to ask is that I noticed that if you go back on the other slide with the main Stanislaus, the Stanislaus and Main right there where that, what was that before? I didn't even.
Foster Farms. Yeah.
That area right there is like an area of concern that I've heard from residents around here, and I don't know if that is something that can be addressed.
So I guess, if you don't mind, Tommy, what our strategy has been is we use SB1 funds for our slurry seals and crack seals because we don't get a lot of it.
Yeah.
Then we compound and grow our Measure L money, to do road reconstruction.
Okay.
What you're talking about at that Stanislaus and Main area is a major road reconstruction because it's really fallen into disrepair. Tommy, in his report, will tell you that we just recently got some STBG funds for that particular area. There's a lot of acronyms, and the mayor talked about so many acronyms with so Measure L is a lot of reconstruction. SB1 are kind of surface, and like we have some decent roads. We just want to restore them and try to extend their life.
Yes.
And then we go out for grant funding to do major rehab projects. And that's kind of how we tackle the different level of roads that we have.
Yeah.
They're good roads, they just need to be restored a little bit, okay, SB1.
Yeah.
If we have a big project like we're going to get, I think next month or next meeting, the Measure L and the reconstruction of L Street over there, that's a Measure L project. And then he's going to talk a little bit maybe about STBG, about some bigger funds that are coming in, and that's going to be a major reconstruction at Stanislaus and Main Street, and bringing Main Street from Merced Street to Inyo. So we have to dig into different pots of money in order to satisfy different roads depending on their level of condition.
It's going to take a little bit more than just a crack and seal.
It is, correct, correct.
Thank you.
What's the anticipated lifespan of the slurry crack and seal? How long does that normally last?
So we get a few years, but usually in the range of 5 to 10 years, depending on the condition when we do apply that slurry seal.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Stanislaus was a concern of mine, so I'm glad you brought that up. That was one I was going to bring up. The other one is I've gotten a couple complaints on Fine and Jensen. Is Jensen right? Is that the one that we just did?
Yeah, Jensen's the one we just expanded.
Yeah, Fine and Jensen, the road on
Fig.
Fine. or
Fig.
Fig, I'm sorry. Fig and Jensen, my bad.
Yeah, and
Some complaints about the road right there being real bad.
yeah. So when you turn off of Jensen onto Fig, there's a little stretch there. It's still, we'll call it a buggy path because that's what they used to call Jensen. So you got to remember, some of that's not in the city, some of it's in the county, and so some of it's undeveloped. So that's why that right of way hasn't been widened out all the way yet. But we're actively looking for funding there to do some improvements.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Any other questions? No. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Let's go
Thank you.
bring this back to council for action.
I move we adopt resolution number 2026, adopting a list of projects funded by SB1, the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017 for the fiscal year of 2026, 2027.
We have a first, we have a second.
Second.
We have first and second, going to vote electronically. Motion carries 4 with 1 absent.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Thomas. All right. Item B, report on 2026 Newman Fall Festival. Lieutenant Williams, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, mayors, council members. Before you tonight is the 2026 Newman Fall Festival staff report. I'll keep it very short and sweet. A lot of it is what you're used to seeing every year. I would say the only difference is I know last year on the staff report, it mentioned the Tunnel to Towers run, and that ended up not going through. There's no run planned for this year. All the events will wrap up at 10 p.m. nightly, so that includes an evening under the stars, which is Friday night. Saturday night you have the park, and Sunday night you have the park as well. It'll all shut down at 10. The only other major change that you'll see on there from years past is the insurance requirements, which Chairman Brandon Mello, who's here tonight, worked very closely with Ally and risk management to make sure everything was all lined up the way it should be. So other than that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
No.
Bring it back to council. Thank you for that.
Mayor, did you want to see if
Yeah,
you wanted to?
do you have anything you want to say? All right. Thank you.
Move we adopt the report on 2026 Newman Fall Festival.
Second.
First and second, going to vote electronically. Motion carries 4 with 1 absent. And thank you for all your guys' hard work on that. We really appreciate the hard work that goes in that from the committee and everybody that does it. So thank you so much. All right, item C, approval fiscal year 2026 or 2026-2027 annual budget as presented in the preliminary budget document. There's 2 pieces to this. Item 1, do I need to start those or just have them do the presentation first?
You can do the presentation, and then you can just say we're going to take this in 2 pieces.
Yeah, I can present each one real quick and then just approve the first one and,
Okay.
or vote on the first. I'm not telling you what to do, but. So anyway, the 2 resolutions before you. The first one is the GAN appropriations limit. In essence, what this is back in 78, 79, they came up with the idea that we should have a limit on how much we can use of our property taxes. And then that number each year is moved forward based on a formula to the number we have for next year, which is $21 million. We only get $3.4 million a year in property taxes, so we're nowhere near the limit, but yet we have to go through this process. So first resolution is just to approve the GAN calculation limit. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have on that one.
Any questions on that?
No question.
We'll go and take the first one, which is adopt resolution 2026, next number, establishing fiscal year 2026, 2027 gain, GANN appropriations limits.
I move we adopt resolution number 2026, establishing fiscal year 2026, 2027 GANN appropriations limit.
Second.
First, electronically. Motion carries 4 with 1 absent. Item number 2. I'll just read it real quick and then you can go into it. Adopt resolution 2026, next number, adopting the budget for fiscal year 26, 27.
Okay, now I got to tell you, I've been tempted to come up here sometimes and just say, do you guys want it or not? And we'll leave it at that and we get out of here. But I feel it would be remiss if we did that. So I'm not going to talk about every fund that we have because we've got over 30 funds. But I will say this for people at home so they kind of understand their city government. Of these 30 funds, they're broken down into 4 categories. The first category is called our special revenue funds. And what that is sometimes we get revenues that are tied to certain things that we can spend that money on. For example, gas tax, we can only use on our streets and roads. Federal and state grants, we can only use those on the projects that we were applied for. And that's it. So those type of funds, there's a group of those that fall into that category. The second group of funds, in this one we only have 2. This is called our enterprise funds. It's only our water and sewer fund. And those 2 funds are supposed to be self-sufficient in that the money that comes in from the fees that the users of the utilities pay should be sufficient to run those, the maintenance and operation and salaries and benefits, all those that take care of that system all by itself without having to borrow any money from anybody, any other fund or anybody else. The next group is called our capital project funds. And those are based on when developers come into town and they put in a bunch of houses, it has an impact on the city. So we charge them fees so that we can expand our water system or expand our sewer system to support those new homes that they're bringing in. So pretty simple. The last category is called our general fund. And anything that doesn't fit into those other funds goes in our general fund. And this is like our property taxes, sales taxes, franchise fees, monies that come from people renting our park facilities and stuff like that. Those can be used generally and are at the whim of the city council. So what we do every year is we come and bring a budget that suggests that our staff is actually, having looked at everything, suggests that this is what we should spend that money on. And then the council approves those. So real briefly, let's just talk about 3 of the funds. The first 2 will go really quickly. That's our water and sewer. And the reason I want to talk about these 3 is just because they affect the residents most. Our water and sewer funds are both healthy. They're not wealthy, but they're healthy funds. Our sewer fund is projected to gain a little bit this year. So we'll have a little bit of money left over. Our water fund looks like it's going to spend and have to borrow a little bit from its reserves. But the only reason is, and it's just like at our homes, is that sometimes we save up money some years, and some years we got to pay for that kid to go to college, or we got to buy that new car, or we got to fix up our house. So in this particular year, we're actually replacing some computer cameras, some servers out at Well 10, and we're also paying for half of a pickup truck in water and half of it's in sewer. So we're spending a little bit of that money. And so that this particular year, it's going to have a little bit of a drop in its reserves, which is not bad. That's normal from time to time. So those 2 funds are healthy. The last one is our general fund. Now, our general fund is also healthy, but this particular year we have a little bit of a difference. In our prior 5 years, we have typically budgeted anywhere from a $600,000 to a $700,000 deficit to start. And over those same 5 years, our general fund has actually increased by $157,000. So the reason for that is when we budget our expenditures, we look at kind of the worst case scenario. We're assuming that every employee is going to take the maximum in health care, that every employee is going to stay here the entire year, and that they're going to get all the raises and benefits and steps that they're entitled to. But in reality, what happens is some of our employees don't take the full health care, or they're married to somebody who gets health care from another agency, so there's some savings there. Also, some employees leave, they go on to other jobs, or some retire, and we end up saving some money on those. So we don't project those to happen, but that's usually where a lot of our savings comes from. But on the revenue side, we take a more critical look at how much we think is really going to come in. And because of that distinction, is there's usually a deficit that we budget. But like I said, over the last 5 years, we've actually gone up in value. In our revenues this year, there's a couple things that have changed. That's gone from a $600,000 average to a $1 million deficit that we're projecting this next year. First was our sales tax. It's actually dropped a little bit, 150,000 since the last year. And the reason for that is actually several different things that have all happened at the same time. One, we lost Rite Aid. Two, Taco Bell was closed for a little bit while they were switching over to Starbucks. There was a change in how California State handles registration of used vehicles and collects the sales tax on those. Instead of going to the dealership where it's sold and straight to the state and then dispersed to us, they now do the registration at the DMV. They collect the money, send the money to the state. And right now the state's having difficulty getting the money back to not just us, but everybody in the state. They're supposedly going to have all that fixed by this August, which would mean that we're probably going to see a big jump in August on our sales tax revenues, and then it'll get back to normal after that. And then other than that, we've seen some changes in the market with farming equipment that is causing a slight downturn. So that's one thing. The other thing is our change in our agreement with the other fire department to the north of us, which is causing a drop in revenues. So other than that, the rest of our revenues are looking fantastic. They're right on line. They've been tracking where we expect them to be. And our expenditures are falling in line with what we've normally expended. We're not looking at any unusual expenses to come in during the next year. Major things we'd have to fix, like building a new building or completely restoring a building. But other than that, that kind of explains that $1 million. So our general fund is healthy enough. It can absorb it. We're not going to end up at $1 million deficit at the end of next year. We've never been $600,000, $700,000 deficit from the prior years, and I don't think we'll be at that number either. But other than that, I'm happy to answer questions you have.
Just a question about the Foster Farms building. I know that talking about restoring of buildings, have we heard anything back about the Foster Farms building and that asbestos?
No, we know Congressman Gray has recommended that our project move forward and that we be allocated $1 million for that cleanup. Unfortunately, it goes through the federal process, so we probably won't hear anything about that until September, October, if they're on time with their budget.
For the general fund, a lot of people believe that the property tax goes all to us, and is. But what's the reality of every dollar do we get? How much do we get?
So roughly on a $200,000 home, the property tax you pay is probably about $2,000. We get $200.
Correct. It's about 6 cents on the dollar, right?
Yeah.
Is what we get to pay
Under
for
the new one, Mayor, about 10 cents, but you're close, yeah.
6 to 10 cents is what we get, depending on when the house was built or designed, or the project was started, correct?
Correct.
So based on when the project started or with agreement from last year, it's up to 10 cents now, but anything in the past is about 6 cents on the dollar that we get for property taxes to pay for police, fire, and parks. So it seems kind of crazy that it's that low, but every county's oddly different. Anybody else have any other questions about the? Nope. No? All right, I'll bring it back to council for action.
Move we adopt resolution number 2026, adopting the budget for fiscal year 26-27.
I second it. Oh.
Okay, first and second, go vote with Carmen. Motion carries forward with one absent. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate all your guys' hard work on this. You guys always do a good job and keep us right where we need to be. All right. Items from the city manager and staff. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of housekeeping items. We do have a planning commission meeting that's going to be next Thursday at 7 p.m. here in the council chambers. We have one item of variance. We shared a little bit about this with the council before, but I want to announce it to the community. We are making good progress on our Veterans Circle. We're nearing 60% complete design. We anticipate late summer, early fall to be breaking ground or at least awarding a bid on that. As part of that, we are going to have bricks for sale. So you can have that brick engraved with your family name. You can honor a service member. There's different options that you can do on the brick and have it engraved. We're going to roll that program out a week from Friday at the Farmers Market. We'll do 2 successful weekends or Fridays there. We'll be advertising on social media. We'll be putting it in the newspaper, and that'll all go through Fall Festival, and we'll do one last push there. So start keeping your eye out for the brick sales. We're going to be doing flyers. We'll be on social media. We'll be going to the businesses. We'll try to get the word out to everybody. And this is open to our community and everybody on the west side that would like to participate in that. So I'd like to, we won't be here, so I just want to offer everybody up here a happy Father's Day that's coming up. And then just lastly, happy birthday, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank
I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you guys for all your hard work on the Veterans Circle. That's something I've wanted since I kind of first came on here, was something to honor all the vets. We are a very tight community to a military base that was near us. There was 10,000 people there at one point, and we see the banners of all the youth that have joined the military, and so there's a lot of pride there. And I'm excited to honor those people with this. So thank you for that. Allie? And thank you for the birthday wish.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Happy birthday, Mayor. Just a little bit of reminders. In front of your desk, you're going to see a couple of flyers. The first one is for Lilo and Stitch. We are having a movie night this month on June 20th. It's Lilo and Stitch live action. We will have the movie night at Sherman Park. Anybody interested in participating or going to the movie night can reach out to me. We also have it on our website. The second reminder is for a market, the downtown Newman Market, that takes place every Friday in our plaza from 4 to 8 p.m. That flyer shows 3 different groups that will be doing live performances this week. Cranium with a high school band. We have Spotlight Dance Company and the Newman Folkloric Promotoras Group. Like I said, we will be out there every Friday in the month of June with different performances, a variety of food and craft vendors, and we will have a veggie and fruit vendor this upcoming week. And then the third reminder was that we have our last day of registration this Friday at the Teen Center for soccer. So anybody that's interested or needs any soccer signups information, usher them my way and I will help them out with that. With that, I can answer any questions that y'all may have.
Oh, I have a question.
Sure.
Are you is entertainment going to be offered every time?
Correct. Entertainment has been scheduled for every single event we've had. This last one, we had the actual promotoras out there doing what they do is dance therapy. And this time around, they'll come back in their folkloric attire.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lieutenant Williams?
Good evening again. Happy birthday, Mayor. I have nothing to report for the police department, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Nothing more to say.
Thomas?
You know I always have something to say, right? Happy birthday, Mayor. As Michael touched on, a couple reconstruction projects coming up, right? One is our Measure L project. I expect to bring consideration of bid and awarding of that in the next council meeting. And that will be a reconstruction of L Street from Inyo north. And then additionally, you may have heard, Mayor, but we did our project, our STBG, which is a Surface Transportation Block Grant Program, federal monies that come in through STANCOG, which is our MPO. And those monies came in and our project got picked from what we call our Stanislaus Main Street Rehabilitation, and that will be, as Michael mentioned, from Merced down to Stanislaus. And I don't have an exact timeline on the project yet, but you could expect that coming to the policy board, those project lists. But it was pretty exciting. Our project got picked for that, and so we're looking forward to bringing that in. And to talk a little bit about news project for Mayor Pro Tem Ball. We are just working on our grant requirements, our final report, along with digesting the the sample and analysis of some stormwater from some stormwater events early in the year, and in late spring we had that last rain event. We were able to grab some samples, and the state was happy about that. So we're digesting that, having a report generated for that, in addition to the final grant requirements, along with some public outreach, education items for the school district, and how we're going to implement that. Is where some things have been discussed, like with a crossword, some educational outreach with that, and I can answer any questions.
Any update on the new park?
On Nature Park, we are finalizing our 100% for Nature Park, and we're working on Nature Park. We're finalizing the 100% and getting the bid documents together for that, and looking at some additional grant funding opportunities to help supplement those costs out there.
The project on Inyo right now with the sidewalks, where are you guys at in that project?
So on Inyo, 511 Inyo, that's the truck parking area. Their improvements, those sidewalk improvements, I don't have an updated percent done on that, but they're making great progress on putting those sidewalks in those improvements, the 511, the property owner is working on those.
Yeah, there were some citizen concerns that the fire hydrants look like they're real low to the sidewalk compared to around the city, so I wasn't quite sure. You might want to take a look.
Okay, yeah, I do know those improvements are done to city standards, but we'll go out and take a look at that.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Chief Bowen?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Happy birthday. Just want to let you guys know the Fire Explorers will be doing a fundraising event. You might see that advertised. You might see them ask you for your assistance. We're trying to set them up with a field trip. They want to go to San Francisco, see the fire museum, check out the fire station there, and then they got invited to a Giants game. So don't hold it against them if that's not your team. But they were excited to go. So any support the community can provide would be appreciated. And I can answer any questions you guys might have.
I don't have anything today.
Nothing.
Happy 21 plus tax.
Thank you guys for everything tonight. Move to adjourn.
Move we adjourn.